If you're a coach, consultant, or mentor and you've ever had a client get resistant and you didn't know what to do, or you did and it backfired, this video is for you. Which also means that if you are a coach, consultant, or mentor, then I hope you're nodding your head right now because the truth is, if your clients aren't experiencing some form of resistance, then they're probably not stretching far enough. And the challenge for you isn't resistance, it's in how you handle it. And if you've ever had a client get triggered, frustrated, stop showing up for themselves, project their stuff onto you, or you just knew that you could lead them to a better outcome and increase the ROI they're getting in working with you, then you're definitely going to want to stick around to the end of this video. And by the end of this video, you're going to know the exact formula you need to break through client resistance without them feeling like you're pushing or like you don't understand them. I have spent most of my lifetime facilitating processes that can bring up a lot of resistance. I spent 13 years as a social worker with people in some of the toughest spots. I've worked with heroin addicts and been a teacher with large classrooms of teenagers who were only at that school because they failed all the others. And for the last 17 years, I've worked with leaders on 6 continents, bringing incredibly deep personal growth work into the practical world of business. So, needless to say, I have seen and dealt with just about every form of resistance under the sun. So if you're excited to help your clients move through resistance no matter what is coming up for them, then give this video a like and be sure to subscribe so that you know when I post new videos every week. I'm Jordanna Eyre, Chief Sorceress of Life and Business at Spiral Growth Systems. I teach emotionally intelligent business leaders how to dissolve barriers preventing impact and fulfillment, to unlock authentic power and unique wisdom in their business and relationships, using a proven framework powered by the Fibonacci sequence. So let's dive in. Someone else's resistance only becomes a challenge when we resist their resistance. So it's in us that the work needs to begin. You've got to do this for you, to know that it is your work. You can't do it to get them out of their resistance. It needs to be about your stuff, and the results in your relationship with your clients will follow. Let's look at what you need to embody to break through your client's resistance. There are 2 key parts here. We have how you relate and how you communicate. We can compare our challenges here to how dogs can smell the fear of their owners. In 2018, a scientist by the name of D'Anello proved that dogs can smell fear, and that when they sense the fear of their owners, it triggers stress and fear in them. And this stress and fear from the owner's fear lasts longer in the dog than signals of happiness from the owner. Now, obviously, your clients are not dogs and you do not own anyone. When you have a belief system, trauma, old memory, fear, or bias come up in your unconscious, your client, just like a dog, may be able to sense or feel it. And especially in the face of fear or resistance, it is common for coaches, mentors, and consultants to think they're demonstrating empathy while their body language, tonality, and energy body conveys otherwise. The subtle energy and how you relate and communicate colors your interactions with people for better or for worse. When it comes to how you communicate in the face of resistance, your words can either convey fear and separation, or they can convey empathy and connection. There's an important caveat to this. You can communicate fear without consciously realizing you have fear. Words you think are empathetic could be rooted in your unconscious fear. It is common for even some of the most self-aware people to think that they're not afraid and that everything is fine, but have subtle layers of unconscious fear shift their body language, word choices, and tonality of how they're showing up. This is why it is crucial for us to listen from all 30 plus trillion cells in our bodies so that we can hear the words and interactions we have with others through a place that's free of our own filters and bias. Now, let's have a moment of honesty. Have you ever thought that you weren't afraid, only to later discover that there had been fears and subtle doubts that you hadn't been able to see before? If you have, put "humans have fear" in the comments below. And I am there with you because I am human too. So what do you need to adjust in how you're relating to your clients to break through barriers of resistance? When you're relating to a client who is experiencing resistance, you may relate to them from the perspective of what you think they need. Or you can relate to them through the perspective of unraveling the mystery of the situation, which will allow you to open to what your client actually needs. To be able to discern the difference, you'll need to be able to develop internal awareness as to what it feels and looks like for you to assume or place meaning on something before you're clear on the inside. It's an unconscious human tendency for us to make meaning of how we experience people relating to us, and that can cause projection. And if you're projecting, then you're not actually helping your client, but unintentionally holding them back. Now, this is not something to make yourself wrong for because you are human. Rather, this is where you have the opportunity to go deeper and do more work inside of yourself. So unraveling to the mystery has to happen from the inside out. On the inside, you'll need to unravel how you're relating to the circumstance that your client has brought to you. When you unravel from what you think you know about their circumstance or challenge, that will allow you to clarify, number one, where you need to release a filter, doubt, fear, or a layer of ego that's coming up in you, and two, what the client actually needs from you. In discovering what your clients need, it is common for coaches and consultants to use advice or impart their knowledge to get their clients through resistance. But this can make it worse. No matter where you're helping your clients go and what you're supporting them in doing, you cannot carry them there because then they won't actually get there or be able to be there. Intellectual knowledge rarely helps people break through resistance. In fact, it usually makes things worse. When your clients are in resistance, realize that you are on a scavenger hunt together. Not the kind where you know where the buried treasure lies. Allow it to be a treasure hunt where the mystery of what is awaiting you and your client is something that you can curiously and joyfully unravel together. When you push against someone's resistance by perceiving it as resistance, you lose sight of the roadmap to get through it. If you relate to what you think your client needs, and you don't have the depth of self-awareness to feel when your words convey fear or separation, then your client will perceive you as unsafe and you'll build up invisible walls. Whereas if you have learned how to open to the unknown and allow the mystery to unravel, but you haven't yet harnessed clearing out your own fear and separation in your communication, then you'll relate to your client through your filters. And what you think is intuition and knowing about what they need could actually be false intuition. Whereas if you do the inner work to clear out your own internal fear and separation, but you still hold tight to what you think your client needs, then you'll wind up relating to them through assumption and projection. Now, it looks like these three quadrants are separate places to be, but really, there's just one place. And that is a place of relating to your client's resistance through your own, which, if you think about it, is resistance to their resistance. Which is why it is crucial that you unravel to the mystery of the unknown so that you can open to what your client actually needs. And to clear out the subtle energies of fear and separation from your communication so that your words communicate a pure and clean form of empathy and connection. When you do this, your openness helps them open. And your unraveling of what you thought you knew opens to greater truth, which will ultimately help your client own the truth and break through resistance. This will allow your clients to feel safe so that they can be honest with themselves and vulnerable with themselves and therefore with you. It will allow them to work through their resistance on their own, and they'll be able to trust the process a lot more. If there's something that needs to change in how you're working with them, or that they need to change in how they're working with you, or in their own goals and intentions, it'll become clearer a lot faster. So if you're serious about becoming the kind of coach or consultant who embodies and holds your clients with the utmost love, respect, and authentic power in every moment, no matter what is going on or coming up for them, I highly recommend you check out my free training on how to get your ego out of the way to be a better leader without endless personal growth work or needing someone else to guide you. In this training, I'll walk you through a non-linear framework that'll help you break through barriers, both your own internal barriers and the barriers people put up to avoiding change. So grab the training. The link is in the description below this video. And don't forget to like this video so that the YouTube fairies know to put it in front of more amazing people like yourself. And subscribe so that the YouTube fairies can notify you when I post a new video every week. Jordanna, Eyre, Chief Sorceress of Life and Business, over and out.